Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Curly Howard was born with the name Jerome Lester Horowitz on October 22, 1903. He lived in a place called Bay Beach in Brooklyn, New York. He was the youngest of 5 brothers in his family. His family came from a country called Lithuania, and they were Jewish. His family was not rich. They were working people. But they loved to laugh and tell jokes every day, even though Jerome was shy and didn't feel sure about himself when he was little. His family and friends could see he was playful. They noticed he was really good at making people laugh. This mix of being humble and funny would later become what made him famous on TV and in movies. When Curly was young, he didn't want to be a comedian at all. And today, he got shot in his ankle by accident with a gun. This hurt his leg and made him walk with a limp for the rest of his life. This made him feel very bad about himself and embarrassed. But something funny happened later. The way he walked because of his hurt leg actually helped him become a better comedian. The bouncy way he moved became part of his funny act that people loved to watch on screen. Before he became famous, Curly had many different jobs to make money. He worked as a person who fixes machines, and he also danced at fancy dance parties. But his whole life changed when his older brother Moe Howard had an idea. Moe was already working with a comedy team that performed on stage. In 1932, Moe asked Curly to join him and a man named Larry Fine to make a funny group called the Three Stooges. Curly took the place of another brother named Shemp Howard, who left the group to work by himself. At first, Curly felt scared because he had never performed on stage before other people. Curly even shaved off all his thick brown hair to make himself completely bald because he thought it would be funnier. His round face, lots of energy, and the way he acted like a kid changed everything about the group. People watching loved his crazy physical comedy that looked like cartoons. They also loved when he said his special phrases like Nayuk, Niyuk, Nayuk, Nayuk, Nu, Woo, Woo, and certainly. These sayings became what the Three Stooges were known for in the 1930s and 1940s. Curly's amazing comedy skills helped make the Three Stooges one of Columbia Pictures' most popular short movie acts that made lots of money for the company. He created a character that was clumsy and innocent at the same time. He was always getting hit by Moe's slaps or getting tricked by Larry's plans. But he was so lovable that people watching always wanted good things to happen to him. Movies like Punch Drunks from 1934, A Plumbing We Will Go from 1940, and An Ache in Every Steak from 1941 showed how perfect his timing was. They also showed his wild faces and how creative he was with his body movements. But even though he was funny on camera, his real life was much harder. He had problems with gaining too much weight, being sick, and feeling sad. He often used humor to hide his troubles from other people. By the middle of the 1940s, years of working too hard on movies, living badly, and not taking care of his health started to hurt him. Curly's performances, which used to be super fast and full of energy, began to slow down. In 1946, while he was making a movie called Halfwit's Holiday, Curly had a major stroke right on the movie set. This suddenly ended his career with the Three Stooges. He spent the rest of his life going in and out of hospitals and places where people took care of him. His brother Shemp came back to the group to take his place. Curly getting sicker was very sad for his fans. The people he worked with. The happy, joyful man they knew was fading away because of his illness. Curly's first marriage was to a woman named Julia Rosenthal. They got married on August 5, 1930. This marriage was very short. It lasted less than 5 months before they got divorced on January 6, 1931. This happened before Curly became famous with the Three Stooges. At this time, Curly was still trying to figure out what he wanted to do for work in show business. The stress of not knowing if he would have a good career probably helped cause the marriage to end so quickly. How short this marriage was is very different from the long-lasting fame Curly would get later in entertainment. This showed a time when his personal life was unstable before he became successful in his job. Curly's second marriage was to Elaine Ackerman on June 7, 1937. This date was special because it was exactly 12 years after his brother Moe Howard got married to Helen Howard. This connection to Moe's marriage anniversary shows how close the brothers were. It also might mean that Moe helped or supported Curly during this time in his life. The marriage to Elaine gave Curly his first child, a daughter named Marilyn Howard Server, who was born on December 18, 1938. Marilyn being born was a happy moment, even though Curly was dealing with the growing pressure of his career and personal problems. But the marriage didn't last long and ended in divorce by July 11, 1940. This separation had a big bad effect on Curly's health and how he felt. After the divorce, Curly's body got worse. He gained a lot of weight and got high blood pressure, which was a sign of the health problems he would have later. During World War II, Curly's work life was very demanding. The Three Stooges would stop filming movies for about 7 months each year so they could travel and perform live shows for soldiers. These tours were very hard work and hurt Curly's health, which was already not good. Even though Moe had a strict rule that Curly could not drink alcohol while performing, Curly's life when he wasn't on stage was full of bad choices. He drank too much alcohol, ate too much food, and stayed out late at clubs. He often did these things to deal with the pressure and stress of his career. His lifestyle was not only bad for his body, but he also spent money in foolish ways. Curly liked to spend lots of money on expensive wine, fancy food, women, and buying houses and land. This often put him in dangerous money situations. His money problems got so bad that Moe had to take over managing Curly's income and spending. Moe even had to handle Curly's tax papers to prevent disaster. Seeing how bad Curly's lifestyle was for his health and career, Moe Howard encouraged Curly to get married again. Moe believed that having a wife might help Curly become more stable and responsible. After dating for just 2 weeks, Curly married Marion Buxbaum on October 17, 1945. Unfortunately, this marriage was short and full of problems, lasting only 9 months. Their separation and divorce were especially mean and angry, and the newspapers wrote sensational stories about Curly Howard's personal struggles. This public attention during an already difficult time made Curly's weak health and emotional state even worse. The divorce was finalized in July 1946, just 2 months after Curly had a terrible stroke that ended his performing career. Finally, Curly found some lasting stability when he married Valerie Newman on July 31, 1947. Together, they had a daughter named Janie Howard Hankey, who was born in 1948. This marriage lasted until Curly died on January 18, 1952, making it the longest and most stable partnership of his life. Valerie stayed by his side through his declining years, taking care of him and supporting him as he fought the long-term effects of his stroke and other health problems. Their daughter, Janie, brought joy and hope during the challenges Curly faced in his final years. For many years, fans of the legendary comedy trio, the Three Stooges, have been interested not only in their slapstick humor and timeless routines, but also in the behind-the-scenes relationships among the brothers themselves. Among these, the relationship between Curly Howard, known for his wild antics and infectious laugh, and his older brother Moe Howard has always interested viewers. Now, in a rare and honest moment, Curly Howard finally opens up and reveals the truth about Moe Howard, the man behind the bossy exterior. Curly's revelation begins by proving wrong many myths that have surrounded Moe's personality over the years. Moe was often shown in the media and by fans as the domineering, sometimes harsh boss of the Stooges, always ready with a sharp slap or a mean comment. While this image fits perfectly within the comedic roles they played on screen, Curly wants everyone to understand that Moe's real nature was much more complex and deeply rooted in care and responsibility. Moe, according to Curly, was not just the tough guy, but also the glue that held the group together during difficult times. One of the most touching truths Curly shares is about Moe's unwavering dedication to the family and the act. Moe was the oldest sibling, and with that position came huge pressure to look after the younger brothers, especially during the early years when they struggled to find their place in show business. Curly remembers countless times when Moe put his own dreams aside to make sure the group stayed united and that their performances were perfect. This sense of responsibility made Moe sometimes appear stern, but it was driven by love and the desire to protect the fragile bond they all shared. Curly also reveals how Moe's leadership went beyond the stage. Behind the scenes, Moe was the one who talked about contracts and dealt with producers. He managed the tricky business side of show business, often protecting Curly and the others from the stress. Curly admits that without Moe's smartness and practical thinking, the Stooges might never have achieved the level of success that made them household names. Moe's ability to balance humor with being professional was crucial, and Curly's honest acknowledgement sheds new light on the brothers' often underappreciated role. Another significant aspect Curly touches on is Moe's support during his own health struggles. Curly's career was tragically cut short by a devastating stroke and other health problems. Yet Moe remained a steadfast source of strength and encouragement. Curly confesses that Moe's tough love sometimes hid deep concern and compassion. This showed up in small gestures, from helping Curly with daily tasks to visiting him during hospital stays. This side of Moe, rarely seen by the public, highlights a profound brotherly bond that went beyond their comedic personas. Moreover, Curly clarifies the misunderstandings about their off-screen interactions. While the Stooges' on-screen slapstick often showed Moe hitting Curly for laughs, their real-life relationship was far more affectionate. Curly recalls moments of laughter, shared memories, and mutual respect that defined their brotherhood. This truth dispels the notion of Moe as simply the harsh taskmaster, and instead portrays him as a loving brother who deeply cared for Curly's well-being. Curly Howard's heartfelt confession finally gives fans an authentic glimpse into Moe Howard's true character, not just as a stoic leader or a comedic foil, but as a devoted brother, protector, and friend. This revelation enriches the legacy of the Three Stooges by reminding the world that behind the slapstick humor and playful bickering lay genuine family love and support. For fans old and new, Curly's truth about Moe adds a new dimension to understanding the legendary trio and the bonds that made their comedy timeless. Still not fully recovered from his devastating stroke, Curly Howard's life took a significant turn when he met Valerie Newman. Despite his serious health challenges and the physical and emotional toll his condition had already taken on him, Curly found a new connection with Valerie, a woman who would become his devoted partner in the difficult years ahead. They were married on July 31, 1947, a union that brought some warmth and comfort to Curly's declining health and spirits. For Curly, who had been a larger-than-life figure full of energy and comedic genius on screen, this period was marked by vulnerability and dependency. Yet Valerie's presence seemed to provide a rare beacon of hope and stability. Irma Leviton, a close friend who knew Curly personally, later reflected on this chapter of his life with heartfelt sincerity, remarking, "Valerie was the only decent thing that happened to Curly, and the only one that really cared about him." This touching observation highlights how, amid the often harsh realities of his illness and the entertainment industry's pressures, Valerie's love and care were a unique source of genuine support for Curly. She stood by him not just as a wife, but as a caregiver who witnessed firsthand the gradual erosion of the man she loved. Although their marriage brought a measure of happiness, Curly's health continued its relentless decline. In 1948, amidst the struggles, Valerie gave birth to their daughter, Janie. The arrival of Janie represented a new chapter in Curly's life, a fragile thread of joy and hope amid the ongoing health crisis. For Valerie, becoming a mother while caring for a seriously ill husband was undoubtedly a heavy burden. Yet she persevered, balancing the demands of motherhood with the ongoing responsibilities of supporting Curly through his medical challenges. The birth of Janie was a bittersweet milestone, symbolizing new life even as Curly's vitality waned. Later, that same year, the situation took a tragic turn. Curly suffered a second massive stroke, which further devastated his already weakened body. This stroke left him partially paralyzed, significantly diminishing his independence and quality of life. By 1950, Curly was confined to a wheelchair, a stark contrast to the vigorous physical comedy he had once performed so effortlessly. His mobility severely limited, Curly's daily existence became a constant battle against his own failing body. In an attempt to manage his health, Curly was placed on a strict diet consisting of boiled rice and apples, foods chosen for their low caloric content, and supposed benefits for reducing weight and controlling blood pressure. This regimen reflected the medical understanding of the time and the desperate efforts made to slow the progression of his conditions, though it also underscored the severity of his situation. The diet was a reminder of how far Curly had fallen from the energetic performer he once was, now reduced to a state where even basic nutrition was carefully controlled. Despite these efforts, Curly's condition showed little improvement. Recognizing the need for specialized care, Valerie made the difficult decision to admit him into the Motion Picture and Television Fund's Country House and Hospital on August 29, 1950. This facility, dedicated to caring for members of the entertainment community, provided Curly with access to medical treatments and round-the-clock nursing care. His stay there lasted several months, during which he underwent various treatments and medical evaluations aimed at stabilizing his health and managing the symptoms of his strokes. Although Curly was eventually discharged, he was not fully recovered. His fragile health necessitated multiple returns to the facility over the following months and years. These repeated admissions reflected the chronic nature of his illness and the continuous struggle to maintain some semblance of health and dignity in the face of mounting physical limitations. The country house and hospital became a recurring refuge, a place where Curly could receive care and be among people who understood the unique pressures faced by entertainers. By February 1951, Curly's condition had deteriorated to the point that he required placement in a nursing home, a facility better equipped to provide long-term care for individuals with severe disabilities. This transition marked another step down in Curly's health journey. His strokes continued to take a devastating toll. Only a month after entering the nursing home, he suffered yet another stroke, further compromising his ability to function independently. In April of that year, Curly was moved again, this time to the North Hollywood Hospital and Sanitarium, a specialized institution offering more intensive medical support and rehabilitation services. His stay there represented one of the last stages of his battle with declining health, where medical staff worked to manage his symptoms and provide comfort. A poignant moment in Curly's final year occurred on January 7, 1952. Moe Howard, Curly's older brother and fellow Stooge, was contacted on the set of Columbia Pictures while filming He Cooked His Goose. The request was to assist in moving Curly for what everyone would come to realize was the last time. The image of Moe stepping away from work to help his ailing brother encapsulates the deep familial bonds and the profound sadness surrounding Curly's final days. Despite their efforts, the move proved unsuccessful in improving Curly's condition. Just 11 days later, on January 18, 1952, Curly Howard passed away at the age of 48. His death marked the end of a life that, while filled with tremendous comedic talent and public acclaim, had been tragically cut short by illness. Of all the members of the Three Stooges, Curly lived the shortest life, a fact that underscores the heavy price he paid physically in the years after his peak career.